Guys, big up yourselves each and every time. Big up for coming through. Big up to Exedra. Big up to my guy Fitz each and every time. And listen, I ain't gonna lie, yeah. In terms of sleep, well, sorry, before we get onto that, big up to everyone coming through yesterday, interacting with the channel. You know, Manchester United's all-time 11. Obviously, post 2008 era. You know, yeah, man, it was a good stream, man. I enjoyed it. You know, obviously, if you guys haven't seen it, again, it is in chapters, so make sure you guys go and view that. Obviously, I won't give it away, you know, in case you guys want to be surprised. But listen, we done our team, the 4-2-3-1 of the best Manchester United players in the post Sir Alex Ferguson 2008 era. And yeah, as I said, go and give it a check, man, because it was good, man. So big up to everyone that tuned in for that and interacted. But listen, let's get on to more pressing topics, because I ain't gonna lie, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. In terms of my sleep last night, I have to say, yeah, it probably was one of the best sleeps I've had. You know, at first when I got into bed, you know, I was tossing and turning. You know, when you try and find the cold side of the pillow, because I ain't gonna lie, my head was hot. You know, it was hot because of excitement. You know, good little stream yesterday. Obviously, watching Arsenal falter, you know. And as I said, man, I kept tossing and turning the pillow, trying to find the cold side, you know. While I was tossing and turning that pillow, you know, there was things that were coming to my head, you know. Bukayo Saka, 300 grand a week, 75 million over 5 years. Victor Gyokeres, the poorest striker I've ever seen in the league. Arteta crying. Gabriel Magalhaes crying. Listen, yeah, all these things were coming to my mind, guys, and I was struggling to sleep, man, because not because I couldn't sleep, but it was one of them things, yeah, where all these things about Arsenal players, Lumi Rain, you know, just talking the most, Mamba, clock enders nowhere to be seen. You know, these guys were just making me not sleep, but for good reasons, you know. And then, as I said, when it actually kicked in that it's Arsenal are, you know, only 5 points ahead of Man City now. You know, City play Newcastle. That's going to be down to 2 points, I believe. Obviously, them guys have got the North London derby coming up, and then Chelsea after that as well. Listen, yeah, man, it was a good sleep, man. It was a very good sleep. But listen, Arsenal, as a fan base, as a club, that team are in trouble. You know, when you see Gabriel Jesus yesterday pushing Mosquera, you know, that's a team right there that are under pressure and they're feeling it right now. And what I would say, yeah, is, and big up to everyone coming on. Big up to Babs One Diva as well. Big up to Christopher McGrath coming through as well. Guys, keep the likes hitting. I want to at least hit 10 likes today as a minimum. We got 6 already. You know, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you sub to the channel if you're new. And make sure you share the channel as well. So, yeah, listen. Reality hit yesterday for that fan base. And as I mentioned yesterday, yeah, it would make people seem as if I can't stand Arsenal. And you know what? You're damn right I can't stand them. And it's not because I just don't like Arsenal in general. It's because the fan base are the most deluded fan base I've ever seen. You know, these guys get excited. They just start talking up for no reason. And the thing is, I wouldn't even mind if these guys were serial winners, you know. But the fact that they haven't got over the line, you know, big up Mamba coming through again, you know, no doubt he's going to be chatting yet again. But I wouldn't even mind if Arsenal were winning trophy after trophy and they had the confidence to just be chatting. It wouldn't even bother me that much, yeah. But you would have thought, yeah, after the Man United game, these guys would have found their place, just kept it quiet, you know, to the end of the season, and then we can start talking. But every week we hear these guys talking, you know. We hear the pundits trying to give them false praise, you know. These guys think that they're going to win it all. I've heard quadruple. I've heard we got the best team in the world right now, the best squad in the world. I've heard, so much nonsense this season. For me, it's only right to react like this, And as I said, I don't hate Arsenal because I have no reason to hate anyone really or Arsenal. But you see their fan base deserve what they get because the amount of talk that fan base do, you know, as Hulk Hogan said, when it comes crashing down. And I believe in me now, yeah, it's going to come crashing down at the end of the season because I promise you now, the shades will be on like they were on when we done our cooking session earlier, you know. And I want to see Arsenal fans turn up when it all goes wrong because I've seen enough of Arsenal this season. I've never rated Arteta like that either. As a footballer, Arteta was decent. As a manager, he's been given everything possible. And he's a symptom of what football has become, It's like you're giving chances to a manager that's been there almost 7 years. And what's he got to show for it? Absolutely nothing. And he's got a fan base, an Arsenal fan base. Yeah, he's got an Arsenal fan base that are just being lied to. Because I've never seen a manager be at a helm at a club for that long and win nothing. If he would have won a couple of trophies, you'd be like, you know what? I can see why the Arsenal fan base want to stick with this man. Yeah. But really and truly, he's just lying to the whole fan base and making them think that he's got a chance of winning anything. That's the truth. Because now it's 5 points and it's going to be over very, very soon. Because I'm predicting against Arsenal and against Tottenham and Chelsea, I'm predicting them to at least drop points in either game. I don't think they win both. I don't think they win both games because the way that Arsenal play, was never sustainable. And as I said, it's like it's coming back now to bite them. And the very funny thing as well, yeah, is that their last 2 games, yeah, they've played against teams in Brentford and Wolves who have they're kind of doing an Arsenal. If you think of Arsenal's, I would say their kryptonite, yeah, it's been the corners, it's been the set, yeah. And you've had 2 teams in Brentford and Wolves that have had long throw specialists and they've outdone Arsenal to get draws out of them, yeah. And this is what I'm trying to say, man. Like, we're now seeing a team under pressure. You can see the way Gabriel reacted yesterday. I thought Gabriel was going to go and punch someone. Like, he was that angry, but we all saw what Harry Maguire done to him anyway. So I don't think Gabriel's got that in him. So he needs to relax, yeah. Arteta, looking confused, and so he should be, I was told, big up to Dereless, big up, man. Guys, I will get back onto your questions and comments, but make sure you're smashing the like button as you come in. Help the channel to grow. And again, if you're new in here, then make sure you sub as well. So, as I said, Bukayo Saka, we was told, let's play him in the 10. Yeah, and obviously after a couple of minutes, he gets a goal. By the way, nothing to do with him playing in the 10, by the way. That was just a ball into the box and Bukayo Saka was there. Header between, what's his name? The goal, Jose Sar's legs. Cool, 1-0 up, yeah? The majority of the game, he done nothing. And what I would say about Bukayo Saka as well now, yeah? You can tell that Bukayo Saka, there's something not right there. There's obviously he's had the injuries, yeah? But he's not as explosive as, and not saying he was explosive like that, but there was times in that game yesterday where normally he would get away from defenders, yeah? And he was being caught up. I know obviously Wolves have got a right back in their team. That's probably arguably one of the quickest players in the league. He's that quick. If you don't know about him, the right back, is it Chowner or Shatma? I can't remember what his name is. But right back for Wolves. I think he's as quick as Van der Ven. Yeah? And there was a bit in the game where he just caught up to Bukayo Saka and it looked like he didn't even try. Yeah? And as I said, man, Bukayo Saka for me, he's definitely not the same player. and he's looked at as Arsenal's key player. Really, he ain't the same. I know he got the goal to make it 5. 300 grand a week, 5 goals, cool. If that's what the standard is, then football's well and truly in the mud. Because we're hearing that Bukayo Saka is the best winger in the world, one of the best wingers in the world, and that just shows you the level of delusion from that fan base and just from people in general that think that. Yeah. As I said, Victor Gyokeres, yeah, it was all well and good when Gyokeres got 2 goals against Sunderland. We was hearing that Gyokeres is proving doubters wrong. We was hearing that Gyokeres is that guy. Listen, but you see Victor Gyokeres, yeah, and I'll keep saying this. He's a flat track bully. He only turns up against the lesser teams when Arsenal dominate the ball. When Arsenal are 50-50 possession or they're playing against a team that they're not really expected to beat, that guy is shit. He offers nothing in general play for him to be an absolute threat. When the ball gets played up to him, it's a lottery with him. He hasn't got a great first touch, and it's one of them things where you can't really bank on him doing anything. Sometimes he might bring it down, but the majority of the time he's going to lose the ball. It's that simple, yeah? So I don't want to hear nothing more about Victor Gyokeres, because that guy, for me, he's just Rasmus Højlund. That's what he is. He's the Swedish Rasmus Højlund. So I don't want to hear nothing about Gyokeres. And again, the fan base seem to think this guy, is that good, or he's the second coming of Pippo Inzaghi. I don't know, but he's shit, and that's it. Yeah. Let's move on to Gabriel Martinelli. Yeah? If you guys watched the stream yesterday, you would have seen me almost screaming at the TV because I just saw something here which I'm not actually surprised by, really, because Gabriel Martinelli, yeah, has to be, in terms of quality-wise, one of the worst players in this league. He's and I wouldn't even say it's his USP because the league's full of these kind of players with pace, yeah? But he's kind of difference maker, you would say, for Arsenal is his pace, yeah? But there was one point in the game, yeah, where Arsenal are trying to get the winner, yeah? And he's under pressure and he just toe punts the ball out of play, yeah? By the way, guys, that's a player that is on 180 a week. And I'll say it again. To just toe punt the ball out of play, that player is on 180 a week. Let it be known. Yeah? He's arguably one of the worst players I've seen put an Arsenal shirt on. If you're from back in the day, yeah, they had mans like, if you remember, if you're an Arsenal fan, they had mans like Glenn Helder. If you remember Glenn Helder, Dutchman, yeah? Glenn Helder wasn't really looked at as a top player. Glenn Helder is miles better than Martinelli, if you remember Glenn Helder, yeah? That guy's shit. That's it. And for me, I'll be very surprised if he's there next season. And if he's there next season, Arsenal need to really look at themselves and think, what are the aspirations this season? What are the aspirations moving forward? Yeah? Madueke has been, for me, better than Saka this season. But again, isn't the level required. The guy's got 1 league goal this season. I actually thought it was a decent header. But we could argue it just to say if it was a case of poor goalkeeping. But I actually thought against Brentford it was a decent header. But other than that, he's just average. He's an average player. That's it. Yeah? Let's move on to, again, I'm going to move on to players that played. Odegaard wasn't there, yeah? He's injured. Eze I've spoken about already. I actually rate Eze. I think Eze's a good player, not for this Arsenal team, not under Mikel Arteta. And again, the fact that Eze chose to choose Arsenal, you can only blame Eze, really, because he chose Arsenal because apparently it's his boyhood club, yeah? And you've got a manager that just clearly doesn't rate him. Because after seeing what Eze done against, I know it was against Wigan, but you would have thought Eze would have got a start in that game. But Arteta just doesn't rate Eze like that, And if Eze doesn't think that, then I'm sorry, Eze, man. You need to really question yourself, because the move to Arsenal, boyhood club, as you said, it's not working out that way, man, unfortunately for you. So that's another thing. And the fact that he came off the bench had no impact. Again, confidence for Eze must be low, and you can't really blame him, yeah? Let's move on to Martin Zubimendi. Give credit where credit's due. He probably has turned up in a couple of games, got a couple of goals, to keep himself relevant. But when this guy gets pressed and he plays against the better teams, you see his level. And his level really isn't what a lot of Arsenal fans think he is. I think Zubimendi is just a good player. But this fan base will have you believe that Zubimendi is the second coming of Rodri, the second coming of Busquets. Yeah? He's not even better than Thomas Partey. Let's be honest, he's not. He's not better than Thomas Partey. So we need to relax with this Zubimendi. Yeah? Declan Rice. And I'm going to sit forward for this one, yeah? You see Declan Rice, yeah? And again, Declan Rice, you would probably say, has been Arsenal's most consistent player, along with Gabriel and Jurrien Timber. Cool, yeah? But what I would say, yeah, is that Declan Rice, he signals mediocrity within the Arsenal fan base, within the Arsenal Football Club, yeah? Because Declan Rice is one of them players, yeah, where it doesn't take many to be convinced that Declan Rice had a good game. And a lot of that is just based on because Declan Rice gets around the pitch, He puts out fires, it's blood, sweat and tears. He looks like he's really trying. That's why these fans love Declan Rice. But the reality is, when it comes to Declan Rice being a difference maker, whether it's to, play the ball through an eye of a needle, whether it's to get that crucial goal, to be instrumental, Declan Rice ain't going to do that, because that ain't what Declan Rice is about, yeah? But we're hearing Declan Rice is the best midfielder in this league. We're hearing Declan Rice is one of the best midfielders in Europe. This is the kind of crap that we have to listen to on a daily basis. And again, this ain't on Declan Rice yet, because I genuinely do think Declan Rice is a good player. But that is all he is. He's a good Premier League player. That's all he is. Yeah? And again, I don't want to hear no one tell me that Declan Rice is better than Caicedo. Declan Rice is, on the level of a Vitinha, a Pedri. He's nowhere near that level. Nowhere near it. And that's just a few players I've mentioned. A Frankie de Jong. He's not on that level. He is just a good Premier League player, and that's it. Let's go on to the defence. Again, I rate Jurrien Timber. I think Jurrien Timber is a very good defender. I would say the only right-back that is better than Jurrien Timber in this league, arguably, is Reece James. I think every other right-back in this league, he can say that he's probably better than, yeah? I mean, I like Mazraoui, but if people want to say that Timber's better than Mazraoui, cool, yeah? I actually think he's actually good. But the last couple of games, maybe he's tired. Maybe he's carrying an injury. I don't know. But he definitely hasn't been the same Jurrien Timber that many would think that, he's one of the best right-backs in the league. But I do think he's good. So he'll get a pass from me, yeah? Let's move on to left-backs, yeah? Let's move on to left-backs. Hincapié, Calafiori, Lewis Skelly. We was told last season that Lewis Skelly is going to be the long-term solution at left-back. What a lie that was, yeah? He can't even get into the Arsenal first team, yeah? Let's not forget, he's actually a midfielder that Arteta has chosen to play at left-back. Why is he doing that? Because he's trying to copy Pep. That's what he's doing, yeah? Now, Lewis Skelly don't really get a look in. And when he does, yeah, you can tell he's low on confidence, and you can tell that he is someone that the opposition will look to target, because defensively, he ain't that great. He's got strengths, don't get me wrong, but defensively, he can be found wanting. I think out of the left-backs, Hincapié, he got a good goal yesterday. Thought he was offside, but, he stayed onside. Thank God for himself. And, he's got the heart. He's got the passion. He gets involved in the tackles. He's actually a decent left-back. Obviously, he's naturally a centre-back that can play left-back. Yeah? And then you look at Calafiori. You know, Calafiori come on. You know, I think might have got credited with the own goal. I don't know. Yeah? But you would say there's two left-backs there that are centre-backs by trade. Yeah? Are these two left-backs better than Kieran Tierney? If we're being honest. Are they actually better than Zinchenko in what they offer? Because I think left-back Zinchenko on the ball was decent on the ball. Defensively, he weren't great. But would you say that Hincapié and Calafiori give you more than what Zinchenko did? Would you say defensively they're better than Kieran Tierney? That's the questions. Because I don't think they are, personally. Yeah? And we go on to the centre-backs. Gabriel and Saliba. We was told that Gabriel and Saliba, you know, are the best partnership in the Premier League. We was also told that Gabriel and Saliba, yeah, when they're back, we're going to be winning games. And guys, you see me, yeah? I always come with the receipts. Yeah? I always come with the receipts. So, we are going to get into that in a little bit. Yeah? Because the amount of crap that this fan base talk, it's about time, yeah, that we start holding these guys accountable. Because we was told when Gabriel and Saliba come back, we're winning games. Yeah? That's what we were told. Brentford and Wolves. 3 goals conceded in 2 games. No wins. Yeah? And again, it's not to get on to Gabriel and Saliba, because I actually do think individually, they're actually 2 good defenders. Yeah? They're actually 2 good defenders individually. Yeah? But let's face it, yeah, the hype that these guys get is unjustified. You would have thought Gabriel and Saliba have won Champions Leagues, league titles. You would have thought that by the hype they get. And again, we have to just keep it into perspective and just say, look, these guys are good defenders, but let's not get carried away. Let's wait and see if these guys actually win something before we start saying they're this and they're that. Yeah? Then we get on to David Raya. You know, David Raya, give him his credit, yeah? He has made some very good saves this season. You know, the one against, who was it? I forgot his name. Plays for Brighton. Forgot his name, man. The one I spoke about before. Guys, if you know the guy for Brighton that hit the shot, I can't remember his name. David Raya made a great save from. It's going to bug me now. Because I spoke about him going to Liverpool as the Mo Salah replacement. What's his name? It'll come back to me anyway. But David Raya has made some very good saves this season. Yeah. You know, we were told that David Raya, from his form this season, is the best keeper in the league. He's not better than Donnarumma. I'll tell you that. Minte, big up to Fitz. That's the guy. Yankuba Minte. Yeah. The save from Minte, yeah, was a very good save. In actual fact, I'm lying. It was a top save because that would have turned that game into a draw, yeah? So big up to David Raya. But we were told that David Raya is the best keeper in this league because he made a couple of good saves. He's not better than Gianluigi Donnarumma. He's not. And that's all we got to say about that, yeah? He's not better than Gianluigi Donnarumma. He's not better than Alisson either. You know? For me, Lamens is going to be better than him as well. So we can already rule that nonsense out that he's the best keeper in this league, yeah? Now, those saves yesterday, yeah, the one against, is it Rodrigo Gomez for his first goal, yeah? I think David Raya should save that. You know, the way that David Raya dived for that goal, it's like he anticipated too early and was already going down before the ball was coming. You know, if that's Donnarumma in goal, I believe Donnarumma saves that. That's the difference, yeah? The second one, you know, where they got EDOZIED, as you guys have seen in the title, you know, Arsenal get EDOZIED, you know, a 19-year-old striker coming off the pinch. And you know what's actually funny, yeah? If people actually know this, yeah? He's actually got a brother, and I believe his brother's name is Samuel Edozie. And Samuel Edozie was actually at Man City and actually went to Southampton. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. You know, because with me, as I said, I do my I know I just know these things instantly. And I think he's got a brother called Samuel Edozie who come through Man City's academy. Yeah. How fun is it that the guy that actually equalised, he's got a brother that's involved with Man City or used to be involved with Man City. It's quite ironic that, yeah. And as I said, David Raya probably should have done better from that as well. You know, if we're being critical. So listen, to summarize, yeah, I'm doing this because the fan base, the Arsenal fan base, yeah, have been giving this team credit, yeah, where it's, for me, it's unjust because these guys don't win anything, you know, and the fact that we have to listen to week after week, you know, the media, the pundits, the fan base, doing the most for an Arsenal team that have won nothing, you know, this is where now, you know, we get to have fun, you know, and best believe me, I'm having fun now because we've been hearing that this team is going to win it all. You know, let's wait and see. It's 5 points now, guys. And as I said, City play Newcastle and then Arsenal got the North London derby afterwards. Now, I'll tell you this now. City will beat Newcastle at home to make it 2 points. Yeah, that's going to pile the pressure onto Arsenal. North London derby, as poor as Tottenham have been, Tottenham have had rest time to get their team prepared for this game. I believe this game's going to be a draw. I believe it's going to be a draw, if anything. And again, that's going to be more drop points for Arsenal, you know, and it makes it 3 points if they draw against Tottenham. And then City, and then they've got, and I think City's next game might be Leeds away, and then Arsenal got Chelsea. And best believe, those London clubs there are going to feel that they owe their fan base something to get back at Arsenal. So, yeah, guys, I will go through your comments in a minute and your chats. Keep them coming. I will definitely get back to them before I go on to this. Now, what I've done, guys, yeah, I've gone through the games, yeah, 19 games. You know, I like to round it off to a 20, and I'll tell you why it's going to be 20, yeah? So 19 games for Arsenal, which is 13 league games, 2 FA Cups, 2 Carabao Cup games, obviously 2 legs, and 2 Champions League games, yeah? So let's go through the points total for Arsenal, yeah? And let's go through the opposition. Let's go through it. So again, 19 games, yeah? Let's start with the league games. And what's actually ironic, yeah, is that 8th of January is actually my birthday, yeah? Which is mad. So 8th of January, Liverpool, draw. Forest, draw. United, lost. Leeds, won. Sunderland, won. Brentford, draw. Wolves, draw. Which makes it, guys, 10 points in 7 games. Is that title challenging form? Hell no. Yeah? 12 goals, guys, in 13 games. I'll say it again. 12 goals in 13 games is shocking, by the way. Shocking. And let's not forget, in the Man United game, let's not forget, it was an own goal. So if we're being critical, we'll say 11. Yeah? I'm just saying. 12 goals in 13 games. Let's say 11 goals in 13 games. Yeah? FA Cup, 2 games. 8 goals in the last 2 games, which sounds good. They've gone through, obviously, next round, yeah? But let's put it to the test. The teams they've played. Portsmouth and Wigan. Championship and League One. Their next game is against Mansfield. Yeah? So again, FA Cup, they've had a favourable draw. Cool. 8 goals, last 2 games. But let's face it, there's not been one Premier League team in there. Portsmouth, Wigan, Mansfield next. And again, away from home, you'd expect them to beat Mansfield. Let's move on. Carabao Cup. Cool. Beat Chelsea over 2 legs. You know, 3-2 the first leg, 1-0 the second leg. But let's face it, yeah, and I've spoken about this already. Liam Rossini, you know, if it works, he gets the praise. If it doesn't, you get criticism. And what I would say, yeah, is that Rafinha could have done a lot more to get his team over the line, in my opinion. You know, because when you're going into a second leg of a semi-final away from home, for me personally, you have to show a bit more intent to go and win that game. But again, Arsenal done what they had to do. You know, they got the goal really because Chelsea committed everyone forward. And obviously on paper, it looks better because they won the game at home as well. But let's face it, that game had 0-0 written all over it, you know. And if Chelsea would have got an early goal, Arsenal don't get the goal at the end because they would have sat back. So again, we can say Arsenal got through, but there was a lot involved in it, yeah? Then we go on to the 2 Champions League games. You know, give credit where credit's due. Going away from home, beating the Inter Milan, looks good. But guys, I'll remind you guys yesterday, yeah? If you've seen the Champions League games, Bodo Glimt, yeah? Bodo Glimt beat Inter Milan. So again, am I really giving Arsenal credit for beating Inter Milan? I'm not, because Champions League this season, Inter have more or less struggled because they got beat yesterday by Bodo Glimt 3-1, yeah? And then obviously they've beaten a Kairat Almaty. I can't remember what country they're from, yeah? But Kairat Almaty, is there any point even talking about them? They beat them 3-2, yeah? So again, Champions League, 6 goals scored, 3 goals conceded, yeah? Now, 20th game, guys, against Spurs, North London derby, yeah? How ironic is it that it's going to be the 20th game? And guys, the reason I mentioned 20, because it is 20 plus years since Arsenal have won a trophy or thereabouts, yeah? So, North London derby's coming up, yeah? And then you got Chelsea, London derby. And I'm telling you this now, 5 points is going to very quickly turn to 0. And when you Arsenal fans keep talking the way you do, just know, yeah, that we are going to be here, especially myself. We are going to be here for the tears because all I'm going to say is that you guys brought it on yourselves. Yeah, you guys talk too quick, you know, and as I say, let's see if you guys learn because I don't think you will. And as I said, if you don't learn, then it's going to be even better for us. That's what I'm going to say. But guys, big up yourselves. Make sure you smash the likes. Obviously, make sure you sub-channel if you're new. I'm going to go through some of your questions now anyway, because I've said all I've had to say now, again, for Arsenal. Let's see what the chat's saying. Big up. Yep, exactly, Fitz, man. Where's Clockenders? Where is Lumi? Where is Mamba? Where is Waka? Where is Cricket Fan? Where is Verbic? And this is the thing, yeah? This is why I have to do this, because all those names mentioned, all Arsenal fans, these guys only want to show up, yeah, when it's in their favour. And this, I keep saying this is why they're going to fail. Because it's either you're going to be 100% committed to showing up, win, lose or draw. But if you're just going to show up when it's all good for you, you know, these things always tend to find its way, you know. So this is my thing, you know. Peaky Blinders, big up. Let's see. It's going to the wire. It's going to the wire. And that's a loser's mentality right there, Mamba. Because you guys had a chance to be 9 points clear. You had a chance to be even further than that. And now all of a sudden it's going down to the wire. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? That mentality there is why it's not going down to the wire. Because I promise you this now, when I told you that City have clicked into gear after that Tottenham game, yeah, I meant it. I meant it, yeah. They've clicked into gear because that that game against Tottenham, you know, I'll keep saying it. Solanke's goal shouldn't have stood, you know. There's no way City in the past would have let a 2-goal lead like that slip, yeah? And the facts are, I believe they would have seen that and thought, you know what? No more slip-ups. And ever since that game, they've won every game. So, just saying. Hi, Gav. As a United fan, I knew Arsenal were going to let their guard down. And Gav, I want to know, was that not supposed to be a red card for Gabriel Jesus? again, let's dissect that, yeah? Arsenal letting their guard down, yeah, was always going to happen. It was always going to happen because, as I said, I don't rate their team in general. I think defensively they're very good, but their team is set up to be defensive, you know. I think their attack is shocking, you know. If you look at their attack here, they would say that their best player in attack is Bukayo Saka. And his return is 5 league goals this season. That's his return. So if that's your best attacker and his return is 5 league goals, why are we surprised? I know Gyokeres has got more goals, but if you're gonna pick one main attacker from Arsenal, the majority of that fan base will tell you Bukayo Saka. He's got 5 league goals. Yeah? So again, why do we expect anything from them going forwards? I think in Martinelli, you know, he's poor. One of the worst wingers, I believe, in the league. In Leandro Trossard, I think Trossard was a better player before he come to Arsenal. He was better at Brighton, you know, and he does chip in with a few important goals. But yeah, he hasn't been the same player since he was at Brighton. Victor Gyokeres is an absolute joke that we've spoken about already. Kai Havertz, you know, is better than Gyokeres, but again, Havertz is a natural number 10, and he's been out injured anyway. And Gabriel Jesus, as you mentioned, has been out with injury, and he's better than Gyokeres, but you've got to justify the price tag that was bought on Gyokeres, that was paid for by the club to get in Gyokeres. And again, just going on to Gabriel Jesus, if we're being honest, yeah, I'm not sure if the whistle was blown and he done it after the whistle. But then again, we have seen red cards being given once the whistle's been blown anyway. Yeah. So what I would say is that it probably was a red card offence. In actual fact, it was a red card offence. The fact that he was never given a red card, I don't know. Because sometimes these officials just do what they want, man. And it's just up and down, really. But he probably should have been given a red card just based off what he done to Mosquera, you know. But listen, man, their team's in trouble, man. They're in trouble. You know, the manager has been there for so long. He's the one manager in this league that has had the longest time to build his squad. And again, there's no excuses. And is he going to win a league title? Not for me. Is he going to win a Champions League? Not for me. Is he going to win the Carabao Cup? I think Man City beat them. And then FA Cup, again, the draw they've had so far, like they've had three teams in a row, League One Championship teams, and now they got Mansfield. So at the moment, it's looking good, and that might be their best route of winning something. But if they meet a competent Premier League team, they're going to struggle. It's that simple. And injuries are coming their way as well. I heard best attacking, best midfield, and best defense in the world. Bro, listen, they've been saying they've got the best in every position. You know, at first I thought they were deluded. At first I thought they were bantering, but they're actually being serious. You know, if you remember, Clockender said Manchester United don't have one player that gets into their squad. Boy, how wrong was he? You know what I mean? So yeah, best defense, attack, best midfield, best defense. Yeah, this is what these guys are doing. It's what they're doing. You know. We only made it interesting for everyone. We will win it at the end. I'm confident. Boy. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And guys, there you have it. Yeah. There you have it. I've just seen this comment from Mamba. Yeah. The players yesterday were physically and mentally drained. And here we go. Yeah. It's that mentality. If you guys remember, yeah, when I done a stream the other day on Arteta's comments saying that he believes that the injuries are going to derail the season, yeah? What people need to understand, yeah, is that, especially with comments like that, and when you're saying the players are physically and mentally drained, yeah, when you start putting these kind of thoughts about, yeah, you are letting everyone else know that this team can be got at. Because when you're hearing injuries could derail the season, players are physically and mentally drained. That's a mentality problem now, because that is shifting the mentality to let people know that Arsenal are feeling the pressure. I don't think people deep this, yeah? And the fact that Mamba's coming out saying the players yesterday were physically and mentally drained, even if that is the case, yeah, I just hope that that isn't something that is going around that fan base or the team for their sake, because that is a sign of a loser's mentality. Do you think Pep Guardiola is going to come out and start saying injuries are going to derail the season or the players are physically and mentally drained? Even if he does think that, he's not going to come out and say that, because that's just going to instill a loser's mentality amongst the squad. And when you've got the likes of Gabriel, crashing out the way he did, Arteta angry, don't think that's not gonna filter down to the players and the squad. Just saying. Yeah? So, boy, listen, you guys are in for problems this season. You're in for problems. But don't say I didn't tell you anyway. Yeah, we are in 4 competitions. How many are United in? Yeah, but again, we can just say, but how many trophies have you won, Mamba? This is the thing, like, we can do all this, how many competitions, we can do all these, these what ifs. We can do all that, yeah? Or we are in 4 competitions. Tell me how many of them you're winning. That's what I want to know. Tell us, how many are you winning, Mamba? How many are you winning? Because we heard you're winning you're winning it all. That's what I've heard. And as soon as you drop the ball in one of them, best believe we're going to come on air again and do the same. Best believe that. Yeah? To win a double, treble, or quad, you need to be able to get it done everywhere. You'll be lucky to take an FA or League Cup at most. But, Fitz, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I wouldn't even mind, yeah, if Arsenal fans were saying we're going to win the FA Cup. But when I start hearing quadruple, it's like you guys are, you know what I mean? You're running before you can walk. That's the truth. And it's like, at least win a single. At least win a single, yeah, before, you start talking about quadruples and that. It's outrageous. So, yeah, let's see, man. Let's see. Yeah, listen. World-class superstars hit the ground running. Great players take a season, and average players take 3 to 5 years to develop. And Gyokeres is in the latter for me. So, listen, what I'll tell you about Gyokeres, yeah? Gyokeres is what he is now. Gyokeres is about, what, 27? So he's at the peak now of his career, yeah? In terms of how much better he can be. So again, yeah, if anyone's thinking that Gyokeres is going to get better, think again. He's not. He is what he is now. This is why Arsenal bought him. So, yeah. Boy, listen, tough times ahead, man. Tough times ahead for that club. We are still top of the league. You can say what you want. Where are you boys getting dumped out by Grimsby? Boy, we're in the same space as you guys, not winning anything this season. That's where we are. You can do all the Grimsby all you want, but the reality is we've had trophies more recent than your club. That's the facts. So you can do all this. Until you guys win a trophy, you can't really chat, man. You just got to sit there quietly, Mamba, and just hold the smoke, man. That's all you got to do, because we've got recent trophies than you, man. We've got more trophies overall. So, you're not gonna hear me come on here and start saying, Man United are top of the league. If we was, I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens at the end of the season. We're going good at the moment, but at the end of the day, man, when you're saying we're top of the league, so what happens when you don't be top of the league? What are you gonna say now? Are you still gonna revert to this Grimsby talk to us? You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you now, you guys are getting knocked off top very soon. I'm gonna give it a couple of weeks. Don't say I didn't tell you. Yeah? The Prem is not for Victor York. Even before Arsenal, only place that's right for him is in the Portuguese league. Yeah, bro, listen, he's a flat track bully, man. You know what I mean? He's a flat track bully. That's all he is. And as I said, will he be there next season? he probably will be, because they spent all that money, and I don't believe they get rid of him after one season. Yeah, but I promise you this now: if he is there next season and he's leading the line for them, they're not going to do nothing serious. They're not. They're not, because let's face it, Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus are actually better than Victor Gyokeres, and they was meant to get someone that was going to overtake him, overtake them two, but them two are actually better than him. That's the funny thing. So again, Arsenal have probably gone backwards. They've gone back. Well, no, not probably. They've gone backwards really with what they've done. So yeah, man, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. The first team's right. So let's read this again. Yeah, the first team squad just needs a rest. That's it. So again, yeah, again, yeah. You know why I'm laughing at this, yeah, guys. If anyone's got Arsenal's next 5 fixtures, yeah, please put them in the chat. I'm working my way down from the chat, yeah, but please put Arsenal's next 5 fixtures in the chat, yeah. Because when Mamba is saying the first team needs a rest, yeah? Now, Arteta's going to play his strongest team against Tottenham. He's also going to play his strongest team against Chelsea, yeah? After the Tottenham and Chelsea game, let me know the teams they're playing. Because when you're saying the first team squad just needs a rest, newsflash, yeah? The only rest they're going to get is against Mansfield. Yeah, because Arteta knows that he can't risk not playing his best team from now. You need to realize that, Mamba. I'm not sure what rock you're high, what rock you're under, yeah. But when you're saying, yeah, that the first team needs a rest, they're only going to get a rest against Mansfield. So are you telling me that one game of a rest is enough? Is that what you're telling me? Listen. Oh, man. All right, guys, I'm just going through the chats, man. I'm confident Newcastle are getting a draw against City. Yeah, listen, that could happen. It could happen. But I already told you, Man City, for me, are clicking into gear. So I'm looking at 3 points. I'm looking at 3 points. And the fact that they're at home, if they were away from home, I'll be like, yeah, that's going to be a tough game. Yeah. But the fact that they're at home and they've beaten City quite recently at home, I think the same thing's going to happen. And let's not forget, yeah, Newcastle played yesterday against Karabag. I know they beat Karabag 6-1, I believe it was, or 5-1. But City have had the whole week to rest. So, listen, and Newcastle more or less played, arguably their strongest team that they're going to play against Man City, whereas Man City have had time to rest. That's what you call rest, Mamba. Yeah, that's what you call rest. We smashed Tottenham. It's all back to square one for City. Yeah, listen. Mamba's on one. There you go. You don't smash teams. You don't smash teams. You just play off set pieces. When you got Bukayo Saka kicking it into players' shins for corners. Yeah, listen. That's when the concerns are, man. I'm telling you. Guys, come on, make sure we're smashing the likes, man. We've only got 8 likes on there. There's 11 of you in there. If you're in here, don't just watch. Smash the like button. Help the channel to grow. And make sure you sub to the channel as well. Bro, listen, I'm not sure if that's... I think that's someone else. But listen, everyone's free to have their opinion, but there's facts and there's opinions, you know what I mean? And as I said, man, as long as it's respectful, have your own opinion. But all I'm saying is don't say I didn't tell you, you know what I mean? You can hope and pray, though. Listen, you're not Mavado, man. What are you talking about? You're not Mavado. Get out of there with a hope and pray. We don't need to hope and pray. Big up to Verbic says, Martinelli has potential, but he doesn't work enough. Bro, he has potential to get at the club. That's what I will tell you, man. I don't know what potential you're watching, but he's got no potential. How old is Martinelli now? He must be about, what, 24, 25, yeah? There's no potential. That guy is not good enough. You know, if Arsenal are serious, yeah, he's the first player that they get out in the summer, along with Gyokeres. It's that simple. There's no potential there with Martinelli. There's not. Again, Martinelli is another player. You know, he's not going to get better than what he is now. And that's not very high, his level. So, yeah, there's no potential there, man. I can't agree with that. Gav, please stop hating on Arteta. Bro, there's no hate here, man. Hate's not in my body, man. I don't hate on anyone. I just give you the real honest facts. You know what I mean? There's no hate here. I've told you about Arteta. You know, Arteta was given the job, you know, on a technicality. He was. Because why wasn't Patrick Vieira given that job? Why? What did Arteta do differently to Patrick Vieira? You know, Arteta was number 2 to Pep. Patrick Vieira was managing Nice. You know? So Patrick Vieira had more credit in the bank as a player for Arsenal, yeah, and credentials on what he done. But why was Arteta given the job? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. And his reward for that, yeah, Arteta, is to have 7 years in charge and win no trophies. These are the questions that the Arsenal fans don't want to answer. So again, there's no hating on Arteta. But the reality is, he's been given everything and he's still failing. It's that simple. It's that simple. So, big up to Miss Bunny too, says Arsenal ain't winning shit. Miss Bunny, big up, man, but you've got it wrong. They are going to win something. They're going to win 2nd place. Maybe 3rd, because I think Villa might pip them. Maybe 4th, because, you know, if we can keep, it might be a bit of a long shot, but, you know, we're creeping up as well. So they are going to win something, man. They're going to win the 2nd, 3rd or 4th place trophy that they're happy with, you know. That's what they're going to do. Nah, listen, Gyokeres is rubbish, man. Put it this way, yeah? You see Rasmus Højlund, yeah? I will go on record and say Rasmus Højlund is probably the worst striker I've seen play for Manchester United. I don't even think Gyokeres is better than Rasmus Højlund. That's how bad he is. That's how bad he is. Højlund was terrible, yeah? But I don't think Gyokeres is any better. So, this is what I'm trying to tell you, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you, yeah, listen, all this talk, Arsenal need a rest. Big up Fitz says Tottenham, Chelsea, Brighton, Tottenham, Chelsea, Brighton, FA Cup, Champions League, Everton, Champions League, City, League Cup final. And Mamba wants to try and tell us, yeah, that the first team needs a rest. I guarantee you this now, yeah, they're only going to get a rest in 1 game. And that's the FA Cup against Mansfield. And the only reason why Arsenal are lucky, yeah, is because if it wasn't Mansfield and it was, let's say, Newcastle, or let's say, I don't know, let's say they got a Liverpool in the FA Cup, yeah? Are you telling me now, Mamba, yeah, that Arsenal rest the first team in any of these other games? They're not. He's gonna play his strongest teams against Tottenham, Chelsea, Brighton. FA Cup, he'll change it up. Champions League, he'll play a strong team. Everton, he'll play a strong team. Champions League 2nd leg, he'll play a strong team. City will play strongest team. So again, all this talk about Arteta changing up his team, they need the rest. Your rest will come at the end of the season. I'm telling you. So listen, all this excuse making, listen, we are going to be here for it, for the banter. Because I just can't believe what I'm hearing here. Gav, Arsenal fans should be worried because the next few games will be tough for them. Boy, listen, Fitz just put the fixtures in there. I'm looking at those games now. Tottenham, Chelsea, Brighton, FA Cup, Champions League, Everton, Champions League, City League Cup final, yeah? Again, I'm not sure who they're playing in the Champions League, but I'll tell you this now, yeah? Tottenham, they're going to draw. Chelsea, they're going to lose. Brighton, they're going to draw. FA Cup, they're going to win. Again, Champions League, I'm not sure they're playing. But Everton, I think Everton game, that's at home. I think Everton, they might pick up a win there. Or they could draw that, but I think they might pick up a win. City League Cup final, they're losing. Just saying. Mamba, name a big club Arsenal have recently purchased a player from. Boy, good question. Good question. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, there hasn't been one, really, has there? There hasn't been one. Look at their whole 11, yeah? Name me a player that they've taken from the big clubs, you know? David Raya come from Brentford. Calafiori come from Bologna. Hincapié come from Bayer Leverkusen. Gabriel came from Lille. Saliba came from Marseille. I think it was Marseille. Timber come from Ajax. Ben White come from Brighton. Declan Rice come from West Ham. Zubimendi come from Real Sociedad. Eze come from Crystal Palace. Odegaard came from Real Sociedad. Martinelli come from somewhere in Brazil. Who cares? Trossard come from Brighton. Madueke came from Chelsea, but they wanted to get rid of him. Saka come through the academy. Gyokeres come from Sporting Lisbon. Havertz come from Chelsea. Gabriel Jesus come from Man City. So again, you could arguably say Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, and Madueke. Yeah? And between the three of them, have they even got a combined over 10 goals this season? Sorry, I'll scratch that. I'll scrap that. Have they got combined over 5 goals between the three of them? Just saying. Just saying. Boy, listen. Guys, I can do this all night, man, if you want me to, man, because these guys need to be taking their medicine today, man, because the amount of times these guys just talk. Listen, let's put them under pressure. But good question, Miss Bunny, because I'll be honest with you. The amount of players how many players they bought from the big clubs? I've counted 3 in recent times. But you can say, what clubs have taken players from Arsenal? Let's go through it. Gael Clichy, Ashley Cole, Robin Van Persie, Alexis Sanchez, Samir Nasri, Emmanuel Adebayor, Olivier Giroud. I'm pretty sure that's it. So we got 7. Again, there could be more, guys. But listen, just saying. Just saying. Arteta is the guy, bro. Don't worry. You guys just talk now, and after we win the league, you'll go back in your shell. Boy, I won't be in my shell, man. I'll be right here, man. I'll be right here, man. You know, I'll be right here laughing. You know, you'll be crying again. Because I would have thought, man, after the Man United game, you guys would have learned. But it's quite clear you guys don't learn. So, Mamba, listen, there's no worry about Arteta. As I said, this is when the pressure starts. Earlier on in the season, when you guys were nicking games, it looked all good. Pressure now is going to set in because those run of games you got coming up, your only confident victory you can look at is Mansfield. That's the truth. So, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Big up to Black Mojo King. Big up, man. Big up for coming through. Big up. Guys, come on. We got 19 of you watching and only 9 likes. Let's hit that like button, help the channel to grow, and make sure you sub to the channel as well, guys. Big up. Free Arsenal cooking session today. There will be one at the end of the season as well. Just letting you guys know. And guys, big up to you guys that come through yesterday watching the Manchester United combined 11 of all time. You know, obviously post 2008. Let us know what you think. Again, it's in chapters. So if there's anything that you guys want to see myself, Fitz and etc. discuss, you know, it was a good stream yesterday. Make sure you go and check that out. As I say, it's in chapters, so it'll be easy to divert to what you want to see. Arsenal fans need to get Arteta out if he bottles the league. Listen, get him out now, man, because he's bottling the league. And let's not forget as well, yeah, the very fact that he's made it this far, you have to give credit to Arteta. Because I've never known a manager to spend the amount of money that he's spent to win absolutely nothing and still be in the job. I've never seen that. Imagine doing that, yeah, in a normal 9-to-5 job. You know, you're not producing, you ain't producing money for the company, not producing the goods, and they give you 7 years to do absolutely nothing. Imagine that. Only in football, man. Only in football. Gav is violating. Bro, listen, it had to be done, man, because I don't think you understand the amount of talk that these guys keep doing on a regular basis. On a regular basis. Again, I wouldn't even mind, yeah, if Arsenal fans just kept it reasonable and said, you know what, I hope we can win the title this season. You know, it's going to be tough. You know, the amount of chat these guys have been doing, quadruple this, best player in the world this, Bukayo Saka's top 10 in the world as a footballer. This is what these guys have been doing. Declan Rice is the best midfielder in the world. And then when you ask them, why is he the best in the world? They resort back to the free kicks he scored against Real Madrid, like they won the competition. This is what these guys are doing. So it's only right, yeah, that we just start this cooking session quite early. You know, I've done it earlier before, you know, but it's going to come about again because these guys just don't learn. When you think about it, Arsenal are traditionally a selling club. That's what they are. That's what they are. They can't keep hold of top players. They can't. If you look at Manchester United, for argument's sake, yeah, the only player that we really couldn't keep hold of was Ronaldo. And for obvious reasons, because the guy won the Ballon d'Or here and was en route to becoming the Ronaldo that he's become, you know. But Arsenal just lose players left, right and centre. I mean, we took Van Persie from them and look what happened. Van Persie wanted to win a title. No worries, no worries, Robin. Come to us. We win titles. The rest is history. You know what I mean? So this is what we do. We just take their players and make them winners. Just like Man City. Man City take their players and make them winners. It's not hard. You know? I reckon next season, if we fancy taking, I don't know, Yuri and Timber. Yeah, Timber, come on down, man. Come win some trophies. You know? That's the reality. If we want to take players from them, we just do that. Like, they can't do nothing about it, man. It's that simple. It's that simple. We don't love a Chelsea signing, laugh out loud, but Kai has been brilliant. Yeah, listen, he's been brilliant in the treatment room. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. He's been brilliant in the treatment room. Yeah, no doubt, man. Gav, just saying, Arsenal are a glorified Brighton. Yeah. Yeah. But, bro, I don't think it's even something to laugh about. Yeah, they are. They are. Their best players just get poached. And again, the funny thing is, yeah, they ain't got no worry about their players getting poached because they don't really have that many great players. You know, I told you guys the other day, how many world-class players do Arsenal have? They probably have one or two that are on the periphery, and they're defenders. That's the truth. That is the truth. So I think for the time being, they ain't got no worry about no one taking their players. But, you know, if we want to, if Bayern Munich want to, if Man City want to, if Barcelona, Real Madrid want to, at any given moment, man, we can just think, right, Who have Arsenal got really that we could do with that can improve our team and we can just take them, no questions asked? We can do that. And they know we can do that. You know what I mean? They know we can do that. So there's no worries there, man. There's no worries there whatsoever. Gav goes in. You've outspent us, by the way, and over £1 billion in debt. Boy, I'm not sure if that's true, yeah? But I'm pretty sure you spent about 2 billion under Arteta. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure you spent over 2 billion under Arteta. I'm not too sure. But again, don't worry about our pockets, man, because even though if we have spent a lot of money, we win trophies. Like this, it's that simple. You guys don't win, so it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, man. Just focus on this season. That's all I'm gonna say. Arsenal are babies when it comes to winning Premier League. But bro, I'll be honest, man. Big up to Samela, yeah? Gabasemi, yeah? Arsenal are not even babies when it comes to winning Premier Leagues because you've got to win them first, surely. You know? Surely you've got to win Premier Leagues to be babies, you know? And it's been 20 plus years, so we can't even do that now. We can't even do that. Let them win a league, and then we can start debating whether they're babies or not. So I think it's unfair, man, to say they're babies. You know, you've got to win Premier League titles before that happens. So yeah, let's see, man. Let's see. Basically, we need every player fully fit and available, and every star to align. Boy, guys, they're losing their minds, man. They're in trouble. Genuine question. How many league titles have VA Arsenal won? Not a lot. Not a lot. I think a better question is, yeah, in their invincible era, yeah, with Henry and Bergkamp, yeah, how many titles do you think Henry and Bergkamp won at Arsenal? And you'll be surprised. You'll be very surprised. You'll be very surprised. Very surprised. Have a look at how many trophies Dennis Bergkamp won. You know, one of their all-time greatest ever players. How many trophies do you think he won? How many league titles do you think he won at Arsenal? I'll give you a clue. Yeah? I'll give you a clue. It is one more than Van Nistelrooy. One more. Ronaldo went to Real Madrid. It's hard to turn down Madrid when they come calling. Of course. But the other players they've had, they just left them because they went to win trophies. That's the facts. And you can't even say it's a lie because all of them, I believe, went on elsewhere and won trophies. I mean, look at Adebayor, for instance. He showed no respect to your club. He went and played for Tottenham. You see what I mean? Adebayor went and played for Tottenham. He didn't care about your club. He didn't care about your club, man. It's that simple. Five finals since 2021 for us. Yeah, listen. I hear it. How many finals have Arsenal been in since 2021? Or since 2000? Because only final I can remember them being was the one at Europa League against Chelsea where they got smashed. That's it. If I'm right, I can't remember. Clock enders, big up yourself, man. You're starting to learn now. I hear it, man. You're starting to learn. You're starting to learn. At least you've got your head screwed on because Mamba, yeah, he's different, man. He's different. I don't know what Mamba's on today, but you got as much chance as winning Aston Villa winning the league. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but so Bergkamp and Henry, 2 titles together, I think. There you go. There you go. So if Bergkamp and Henry have got 2 titles together, yeah, only 2, and those 2 are considered 2 of the greatest players of Arsenal's era, yeah. Why do I now think? Why should we think that Victor Gyokeres, yeah, and Gabriel Martinelli Why do we now think that these two can do anything? Please let me know that. Please let me know. Listen. Yeah, big up Clockenders, man. Big up yourself. Big up. Woodgate is on staff at United now. Ex-Leeds and Real Madrid. Yeah, we know, man. Woodgate, Johnny Evans. Yeah. Listen, man. Yeah, Woodgate as a defender was very underrated. Woodgate, another Real Madrid player, man. I'm telling you, ex-Real Madrid player. You know, he was a good player. Adebayor's a nobody. Boy, how can he be a nobody when he was leading your line for years? Like, what are you talking about? He was leading your line. You know what I mean? You was relying on him week in, week out. When Henry and that went, he was leading your line. What are you doing there? The guy was literally leading your line. And then left to go and win trophies. Cole and Cantona, best Prem pairing in history, just saying. Boy, listen, that's debatable. I mean, yeah, listen, I hear it. I think many might say Bergkamp and Henry. But you know what, Fitz, how many Premier Leagues did Cole and Cantona win together? That's a good question. How many did they win together? City on top always. We are going to win the league. Yeah, I believe. Best pairing is Kane and Son. Big up to Miss Bunny. But what I would say, yeah, the reason why why Fitz has mentioned Cole and Cantona and then Bergkamp and Henry is because we're talking about central pairings. So obviously Son played from the left, Kane played through the middle. But obviously Cole and Cantona, Bergkamp and Henry both played as central strikers or number 10s. But I hear it. Kane and Son's partnership was very good. You know, I mean, if you want to talk about North London pairings, let's go, man. Because, you know, bar obviously Bergkamp and Henry, you know what I mean? Who do Arsenal put up? Martinelli and Gyokeres. You see what I mean? Trossard and Havertz. Saka and Jesus. Like, they're in the mud, that team. So, yeah, listen, if you want to do the best pairing of Kane and Son from a wide player and a striker, then, yeah, listen, man. North London, it's white. I'm telling you. Man, it is. Mohammed Noor says, who do you support? Man United, man. Man United fan. Man United fan, but I'm just well-versed in football in general. You know, and this is why the free Arsenal cooking session today, should I say, is good. Best front three, Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez. Listen, devastating front three. Devastating front three. I mean, I'm trying to think who Arsenal had as a front three. I mean, they never really played a front three anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's not that much, is it? I mean, that era of football there, who did they have? I think it was Aubameyang, Lacazette, or maybe even before that. You know, I can't really remember, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Unlikely in the West Ham game. Unlucky, I think I'm going to say. Yeah, listen, it was, man. It was, I'm not too fussed about the West Ham game, if I'm honest. I think the biggest problem that we had, which I've said already, is that the change of Mbeumo or Bruno Fernandes should have come off the pitch at half-time. And then Xerxes should have come on. I know people would have said Sesko, but I would have got Xerxes on the pitch so he could link the play and hold the ball up and then get Cunha more central. Mbeumo or Bruno should have come off. Probably Mbeumo should have come off because he was playing through the middle and weren't really doing much. I know he got the assist. But the only problem I have is that Carrick, for me, could have changed it at half-time. But he made the changes anyway. And really and truly, you know, I'm not looking at Carrick really as the reason for why we didn't win that game. You know, because we've just got better players and we should have done better at West Ham. But it is what it is. Let's just see if Carrick's learned from that game. That's what I'm going to say, really. Front threes are more modern. For me, it's the 9 and 10 pairings that were the best. Yeah, you know what, Fitz? I hear that, man. I hear that. And again, I'm from the era of the 4-4-2. You know what I mean? What do I prefer? I probably do prefer the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3. Because I do like inverted wide players, you know, left footers on the right, right footers on the left. But again, the modern thing now is the 4-2-3-1 or the 4-3-3. But obviously the original was the 4-4-2. But I think with the 4-4-2, it's more of a case of having wingers that are strongest on their foots in that position. And again, if you're playing left wing as a left footer or right wing as a right footer, you know, you're going away from goal. So you're more wingers to create for the central strikers. But I much prefer the 4-2-3-1, you know, or the 4-3-3. So, but yeah, I hear it, man. I hear it. 2 wins in 7 and still top of the league. We are so far ahead of you guys. But what I would say, Mamba, yeah, because I know you're going to keep going, man, till the cows come home. Big up yourself anyway, yeah? But focus less on us and focus more on Man City. That's what I will say. Because we're not challenging you guys this season because we sacked Ruben Amorim too late. That's the truth. Because if Michael Carrick was in charge for the start for the whole season, to the start of the season, you know what I mean? We'll be in a title race right now. That's what you need to realize. That is what you need to realize. You know, you can start doing all the jokes and that about 2 wins in 7. You know, we beat you guys at your place as well. So, you know, we can easily go on to that, but it's no point. But what you need to realize is that Man City are coming for your necks. And then next season, if we get the recruitment right, which I think we will, and if we get if we sort the manager out, if it's Carrick or not, listen, don't be surprised if we finish ahead of you. And the reasons for that are, yeah, you guys really have built your team to what it is now, and that's not very good, yeah? Now, you guys really can only improve in one position, and that's left wing. And I don't even think he's going to do that. So, there you have it, man. There you have it. The Gooners have the longest title charge without winning the league in Prem history. Boy, try telling Mamba that, man, because he's not backing down. He's not backing down. I rate his resilience, but it's going to be to no avail, man, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Yeah, boy. Yeah. I understand the cooking after yesterday's result was embarrassing, but got to defend the team. Yeah, listen, Mamba, I don't blame you for defending your team, man. That's not what it's about. But I'm just more I'm just more about the delusion from your fan base, man. The amount of rubbish you guys talk, man. That's all it is. Like, you got to defend your team, but you know, I'm not sure what you're defending personally. You know, you got to be winners to defend something. But yeah, listen, man, I hear it. Do Arsenal still got a chance to win the Prem? Well, they're 5 points, man. I mean, Mamba and the fan base will tell you they've got chances, but listen, let's wait and see, because it's not looking great, man. That's what I will tell you. It's not looking great, because 5 points, it could have been 9. Yeah, it could have been 9. It's now 5 points. I believe it's 2 points, you know, come Sunday. So, yeah, listen, let's wait and see. Mamba is going to be unbearable if they win the league. Yeah, listen, he's unbearable now. So I'm used to it. So, yeah. So, yeah, listen, it's nothing different from what I've seen, because he's literally unbearable now. But he's got to back his team. But what I would say, at least he's shown up. You know what I mean? At least he's shown up. Unlike a few of the others. You know, at least Clockenders showed up as well. You know, I can respect it. But a few of the others, yeah, listen. These guys will get what's coming to them. Big up Lumi Rain, though, each and every time. So if Arsenal haven't got the league wrapped up by the cup final with City and City win that final, they will go on to win the league. Yeah, 100%. City for me will win the Carabao Cup, and they're going to win the league. And that Carabao Cup final is going to have a bearing on the league for sure, because it's going to be a mentality switch for either team. You know, because even if Arsenal was to win, they'll believe that they can go on and win the league title. But City have been here before. You know, Pep Guardiola has been here numerous times. So he's going to know what's at stake. And the fact that City have got to play Arsenal twice this season, City are not losing either game. They're not losing either game. I'm telling you this now. I'm telling you this now. Because let's face it, as I said to you, that Tottenham game shouldn't have been a draw with City, yeah? And they'll be level on points right now. So, just saying. Yeah, well, the thing is, it is out of Arsenal's hands now because, again, the cushion's still there because they've got, because obviously they've got the, they've got a 5-point gap. But the fact that City has still got to play them, this is where Arsenal are in trouble because imagine if City are ahead of Arsenal, yeah, by the time they play Arsenal. Because Arsenal will be looking at that game, yeah. If they're ahead of Man City by the time that game comes about, best believe Arsenal will definitely be playing for a draw, yeah? Which means that, you know, they'll be happy to just get out of there. Yeah, really, yeah? But could you imagine if Arsenal have to come to Man City knowing they have to win the game? Because this is where the problem's going to start for them. You know? Whereas City, for me, will be going into that game regardless, knowing they have to beat Arsenal. That is the difference. That's the mentality there. Because I believe Arsenal won't go to Man City, you know, knowing that they have to win that game. Because Arsenal don't have the quality and depth, yeah, that Man City have. So Arsenal's game will be like to sit in and just hope that they can get a counter-attack or hope a set piece, you know. But City will be at home knowing they have to beat Arsenal. That will be their chance to say, look, we're winning this league title. But by the time that game comes about, it depends who's top and who's not. Because City will approach it for me in the same way. Whereas Arsenal, I don't think they approach it the same way if they're ahead. And that could be their undoing. So let's see. Let's see. Guys, come on, there's 23 of you watching, 13 likes. Smash the like button, sub to the channel, share the channel as well, and check out all the other content. And guys, as I said, make sure you check out yesterday's stream with myself, Fitz, and Exedra as well. So we done our all-time Man United 11, obviously post-2008 era. So it's a stream that we're going to be doing every week. We're going to sort out a day, probably every Tuesday or Wednesday. And next up is Arsenal. And then we've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City. So we're doing all the major teams in the leagues. So we're going to do Premier League. We're going to do Bundesliga. We're going to do La Liga. We're going to do League R as well. And Serie A. So all the major teams. So you've got, as I say, we done Man United yesterday. Got Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Roma, PSG, Marseille, Lyon, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen. So yeah, we got all those teams to get through, guys. So yeah, every week we're going to be doing that. So yeah, make sure you guys join us and give us your views and opinions as well. Big up to The Secret Sports TV, says good talk. Yeah, big up, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Make sure you're subbing though as well, man. Make sure you you smash the likes as well. Helps the channel to grow. So yeah. But guys, listen, we are going to wrap it up in about a couple of minutes. So again, if you guys got any other questions, any comments to make sure you get them in. And as I said, make sure you sub to the channel, guys. Obviously, and make sure you hit the like button, help the channel to grow. Again, if there's any Arsenal fans in there, let me know what you think of your chances this season. Because the way I see Mikel Arteta and Gabriel crying, yeah, listen, something's telling me, man, that it's not a good place, man, right now. And again, Gabriel Jesus, man, letting everyone know that he's just not happy. And yeah, the crash out is real, man. So let me know, man. Let me know. Got some coconut water down you, bro. Hey, that could be leveled at as you know what, Mamba. Because why are you saying coconut water? Why are you saying coconut water? It's just plain water, man. But listen, coconut water, yeah? Okay, I see where you're going with this, Mamba. Guys, he's rattled. That's what I will tell you. He's rattled. Arteta has built a decent side, but he's proven time and time again he's incompetent at getting them over the line. He should step back at the end of the season and allow someone else to have a go. 100%. 100%. The very fact that he's made it this far in the first place just tells you everything. You know what I mean? But as I said, their fan base are not going to switch up, the majority of them anyway, because the majority of them, you know what I mean, have been fooled by this manager. You know, so they're not going to switch it up. But the real ones know that he's never been the answer. That's the truth. So, yeah. He should step back and let someone else have a go. I agree. But who do they go for? You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you this now, yeah. When he does fail, because he will, it wouldn't even surprise me if they keep him in charge. Because there's no ambition there. There's not. The Gooners bottled it with 11 games left. The 4P of choking. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. I'm looking forward to this North London derby as well, man. I'm telling you. You know, Igor Tudor in charge. You know, surprised he got given the interim role anyway to the end of the season. But he's obviously an ex-defender as well. Obviously, Igor Tudor is an ex-Juventus player. You know, Croatian international as well. And I just got a feeling he might set his team up in a way, yeah, to make it difficult for Arsenal to break down. So it could be an interesting game, man. Interesting game. And they're at home as well. So there's everything for Tottenham, really, you know, to get excited about. They're at home. You know, it's a North London derby. They haven't got Thomas Frank anymore. You know, they're going to be looking at that game as a way of, you know, disrupting Arsenal's momentum, if there's any. So yeah, listen, man, they're going to be looking at that as the game where they can literally, you know, turn the league season on its head. You know, as well as obviously helping their own season, which has been a disaster. So let's see, man. Let's see. But one thing's for certain, man, we will definitely be here. You know, we'll definitely be here. And no doubt, you know, the Arsenal fans will be coming back on it if they do win the game, you know, shouting their mouth off as usual. But listen, one thing you can say about myself is that I turn up, win, lose or draw. I'm always here. But the same can't be said for the majority of them. But it is what it is. But guys, on that one, we're going to wrap it up. Big up yourselves each and every time. Make sure, guys, you smash the like button as well on your way out. Obviously, help the channel to grow. And as always, make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you share the channel as well. And check out all the other content. And guys, next week as well, if there is any Arsenal fans that want to jump on the stream with myself and Fitz, doing an Arsenal all-time 11, you know, we're going to be doing the post-Invincibles era, you know. if there's any Arsenal fan, you know, that wants to jump on, or any fan in general that wants to jump on and do the stream with us, just let me know. And obviously, I can hook that up and get you guys obviously on here as well. So yeah, let me know. But other than that, have a good rest of the week. You know, obviously North London derby's coming up on the weekend. Some good football coming up, thank God. You know, because this FA Cup week's been dead. But yeah, listen, it's gonna be a good one. So yeah, big up yourselves each and every time. Big up to all the mods as usual. And yeah, make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you share the channel and smash the like button on the way out. And as I said, man, yeah, we'll catch you guys. I probably won't be live tonight, guys, but we'll be live definitely tomorrow, 12:30, same time as usual, and then probably live in the evening as well. So yeah, keep an eye on the on notifications as well. And guys, I will have two. Obviously, I've been doing the greats of the game. So obviously, if you guys don't know what the greats of the game is, you know, it's players of the past that I do like a little 5 or 10 minute talk on. You know, I talk about the individual honours won, the team honours won, and how good of a players that these guys were from what I saw. So yeah, give that a check. I've got 2 coming out today. One should actually be coming out in about an hour's time. And then obviously the other one will be coming out later today. So yeah, make sure you guys keep an eye on that. And again, let me know in the comments what you guys think as well of these players. 2 interesting players coming out, man. One of them that will be coming out is one of my all-time favourite players that I even forget sometimes as well because I think he was that good. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And as I said, I'll be catching you guys tomorrow. And as I said, Arsenal fans, heads up. On to the next game, North London derby, and then Chelsea after that. And we'll see what you guys can do. But other than that, guys, big up yourselves, and I'll catch you guys in a bit.